Hello history buffs and adventure seekers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep literally into one of the world's most astonishing archaeological sites. Forget Atlantis. We're exploring a real-life submerged city, the oldest in Europe, a place frozen in time beneath the waves. This is the story of Pavlopetri. Imagine a bustling coastal town, complete with streets, two-story houses, courtyards, and elaborate tombs. Now picture it all resting peacefully on the seabed, just a few meters below the surface of the crystal-clear Mediterranean. This isn't a fantasy, this is Pavlopetri, located off the coast of Laconia in southern Greece, discovered in 1967 by Nicholas Fleming and mapped a year later by a team from Cambridge. This underwater marvel has been slowly revealing its secrets ever since. What makes Pavlopetri so incredibly special? It's not just that it's underwater, it's the age and the incredible state of preservation. We're talking about a city that was thriving 5,000 years ago during the Bronze Age. That's 1,000 years before the most famous Minoan palaces on Crete were built. We have an almost complete city plan here, which is exceptionally rare for a site of this antiquity. It gives us a unique, three-dimensional glimpse into a world that existed millennia ago. When archaeologists began to map the site, they weren't just finding scattered ruins. They found a structured, sophisticated urban center. The site spans over 100,000 square meters. Think about that for a second. We're looking at least 15 distinct buildings interconnected by a network of streets. There are courtyards, which suggest community gathering spaces, and an extensive cemetery with dozens of rock-cut tombs. This wasn't just a small settlement. It was a complex, organized society. The level of detail is mind-boggling. Thanks to advanced digital survey and sonar mapping technology, researchers have created stunningly accurate 3D reconstructions of the city. We can virtually walk its streets, we can see where the houses stood, how they were arranged, and even speculate about the daily lives of the people who lived there. These weren't primitive huts. Some structures were clearly 2 stories tall, indicating a certain level of architectural skill and social stratification. So, who were the people of Pavlopetri? The artifacts recovered from the site tell a fascinating story. They were skilled craftsmen and savvy traders. The abundance of finely made pottery, including large storage jars called pithoi, suggests a thriving agricultural economy. They were likely storing olive oil, wine, and other goods, but they weren't isolated. The discovery of obsidian tools from the island of Milos, hundreds of kilometers away, proves they were part of a vast maritime trade network that crisscrossed the Aegean Sea. Pavlopetri was a crucial port, a hub of commerce and culture, connecting mainland Greece with Crete and the wider Mediterranean world. One of the most significant industries in Pavlopetri appears to have been textiles. Archaeologists have found a high concentration of loom weights in certain areas of the city. These small clay objects were used to hold threads taut on a vertical loom. Finding so many suggests a large-scale, organized textile production, possibly for export. Imagine bolts of brightly colored cloth being loaded onto ships in Pavlopetri's harbor, destined for distant markets. It paints a vivid picture of a dynamic and prosperous community. But this brings us to the biggest mystery of all. What happened to Pavlopetri? Why did this thriving city disappear beneath the waves? For a long time, the leading theory was a catastrophic earthquake. The region is tectonically active, and it seemed plausible that a sudden seismic event caused the land to subside, swallowing the city whole. This would explain its incredible preservation. It wasn't slowly abandoned, but rather flash frozen in a moment of disaster. Recent research, however, offers a more nuanced explanation. While earthquakes likely played a major role, it probably wasn't a single cataclysmic event. Geologists studying the local coastline believe a combination of factors, including multiple smaller earthquakes, the slow rise of sea levels after the last ice age, and even the shifting of a river delta, contributed to the city's gradual inundation. It may have been submerged over a period of decades or even centuries, forcing its inhabitants to slowly retreat to higher ground. This gradual process is in some ways even more poignant. It wasn't a sudden apocalypse, but a slow, inevitable loss of home, a battle against the rising tide that they couldn't win. The last inhabitants of Pavlopetri would have watched as the sea crept up their streets, flooding the ground floors of their homes, until finally they had to leave their ancestral city behind forever. The site's preservation is a double-edged sword. Being underwater has protected it from the ravages of modern development and agriculture, but it also makes it incredibly vulnerable. The anchors of large ships, pollution, and even the shifting sands of the seabed pose a constant threat to these delicate 5,000-year-old structures. Thankfully, the Greek government and international organizations like UNESCO are working to protect this priceless World Heritage Site. It's a race against time to study and safeguard Pavlopetri for future generations. Exploring Pavlopetri is like opening a time capsule from the dawn of European civilization. It challenges our perceptions of the ancient world, showing us a level of urban planning and social complexity we once thought was impossible for that era. It's a city of traders, weavers, and pioneers who mastered the sea and built a prosperous society on its shores. Their world may be submerged, but their story is not lost. It's written in the stones that lie just beneath the surface of the water, a silent testament to a civilization that laid the groundwork for the world to come. Pavlopetri is a powerful reminder that our history is all around us, sometimes in the most unexpected places. It shows that there are still incredible discoveries waiting to be made, worlds hidden just out of sight. It truly fires up the imagination, doesn't it? What do you think happened to this incredible city? A sudden disaster or a slow decline? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts on these historical mysteries. Thank you so much for joining me on this underwater journey today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. Until next time, stay curious.